Howdy YouTube, Unky Joe here, Unky Joe's Playhouse. Today, this has been a long video in the making. It's taken me a couple of weeks to get to this point. I've had to order some drives and then order some new drives and order some other drives, and I've done some videos in between. So you're going to see my shirt repeatedly change color throughout this video as I piece it together tonight. I'm getting ready here. It's about 8:30 Monday night, and I'm getting ready to start piecing this video together. I always record my intro and my outro the day I edit the video. It just makes it easier to get the correct stuff into the video. So there's going to be a lot of jumping back and forth. There's going to be a lot of me putting screws into drives and talking and that kind of thing. So I just wanted to prepare you. I hope you like this kind of video. Most of you say you do. You like it when I talk to you while I'm doing stuff, and anywhere where I can speed up the video and decrease the amount of time it takes to watch it, I will certainly do that. So without further ado, let's get this video started. What have we here, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen? I don't know. What have we here? Well, they finally came in. We have some actual IBM, the correct drive trays for my IBM server. And they came with the screws to put everything together. Got them in today. And then we have one of the original hard drives that came with the IBM. It is a 146 gig, 10,000 RPM, 6 gigabyte SAS drive. I have ordered some extra drives, and these came in. These were $10 a piece. And these appear to be, well, let's find out. Now these are 143.97 gig. They are pre-used, or they're old drives. They've been used in a server somewhere before, and I got them for $10 a piece. They are SAS drives, I believe. So let's just cut one open and find out for sure what they are, because these appear to be 15K drives, not 10K, which is fine. And there's going to be a method to my madness. So yeah, these are 146 gig SAS drives. Let's see. Yeah, made by Toshiba, but they are IBM storage drives. So these are a little bit faster than the ones that came with the system. They spin 5,000 RPM faster. And like I say, I got them for $10 a piece. So if they don't work, they don't work. No big deal. But the point is they're going to go into this IBM server. And you're probably like me, and you're thinking to yourself, why in the hell are you putting more spinning hard drives in that server? Well, this server will take a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spinning hard drives. In this server right now, I have one of these 146 gig spinning hard drives. That is my operating system where I boot Windows Server 2016. And then I have an SSD drive as the second drive, and that is the storage for my virtual machines from Server 2016. So why would I need to add 1, 2, 3 more hard drives? Well, this is my lab server, right? So what do you do in a lab environment? You test things, right? I meant to do this with my Dell server, but I leased it to a client. So as it turns out, I've got a better option by using this IBM. It uses smaller hard drives. They consume a little bit less power than the full-size 3.5-inch hard drives. And it can hold 8 drives as opposed to 6. The other thing is I can put operating systems on each one of these. This one is going to be Proxmox. This one is going to be ESXi. And this one is going to be, I think it's called Overt, which is similar to Proxmox. It's a hypervisor. So what I'm going to do is install these 3 drives, and then I'll put an operating system on each one. And then when I boot up the server, I can press the F12 key, it is, I believe, or F10, and I can select what hard drive I want to boot off of. So I can run my Server 2016 Hyper-V on here, or I can run ESXi, or I could run Overt, or I could run Proxmox. Either one. Perfect testing environment. Wouldn't you agree? I would. Well, you're not me, but you can agree with me or not. All right, well, let's get this party started. Let's get these drives into their trays and get them installed. Now, I don't know if I've ever shown you this toolkit that I bought months ago, but it's got all the little spudgers in it. It's got an anti-static wrist strap. It's got all my nut drivers in here, my Torx bit drivers, and then it has, you know, my scalpel and spatulas. It has a ruler, everything in there. I love this thing. I love this little toolkit. I love my toolkit. Now, I have no idea what screws these are, and I'm an blind old fool. So I'm going to need to take them out of the package to see what they are. I think they're those damn T8 security screws. I'm about to find out. I have a T8 bit right here in my hot little hand, and they're the Torx 8 security bits. Screws. I think they have the little thing in the center. Oh no, they're just T8s. I think they're just T8s. Well, I can use the T8 security bit. It doesn't matter. It'll work. Now the moment of truth. Now these drive trays have little springs in them. Okay, so what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to slide the drive in like this, past the little springs, and then bring the edges together. Did I do that right? Yep. Because if you don't, the springs will pop out. There we go. And then I can get my Torx screw in here and get them all screwed in. Now while we're doing this, on these IBMs, when you unplug these servers for any length of time from the power and then plug them back in, it takes about 5 minutes for the onboard computer to come online. In other words, the IMM adapter. I did not know this, and so I booted it up and was sitting there trying to get into the remote desktop, and it wouldn't let me in. I didn't know why, and that was because it has to go through a boot process with the onboard IMM, and I guess it's on really slow storage. It's not, it's not on your part of your hard drive storage. That's what I should say. I gotta tell you, at first I'm an old school guy. Look, I'm old and set in my ways, I'll admit it. I'm not too proud to admit it. I always thought 3.5-inch hard drives were just faster than 2.5-inch hard drives. I just thought that was a given because all I'd ever dealt with is laptop drives. And then a few years ago, I saw somebody install a new super micro server, and they had all 2.5-inch drives in there, and I thought to myself, well, that's kind of foolish. Those drives are 5,300 RPM. I had not realized, and nor had I needed to realize that they had, I didn't realize they had 15, even till this very moment, till I just put these in my hand, that they had 15K 2.5-inch hard drives. I don't know why it never occurred to me they had them, but it just didn't. And, I've been in the business nearly 30 years now, and it just goes to show you that it is true. You can get old and set in your ways. And I obviously am old and set in my ways because I had no clue they had 15K RPM 2.5-inch hard drives. But live and learn. And I'll tell you now that I know this, I would have, had I known this earlier, I would have ordered my Dell probably with 3.5-inch hard drives, because I have a lot of 3.5-inch hard drives laying around. And I don't know if you can see it, but on the desk there's a pile of 400 or 500 gig hard drives right there. And I just can't, I'm the kind of person, I can't throw a hard drive away until it fails. And even then, I've got a box of hard drives out in the den that I need to destroy, and I mean destroy, with a hammer. But I just, I haven't gotten around to it, so I'm a pack rat that way, especially when it comes to computer technology. Sorry about the lighting, but it's evening time, so I'm going to take this keeper out, this keeper out, and this keeper out. So there's my 146 gig, there's my SSD. Here is my other 10,000 RPM hard drive. So we'll put her in next. Let's hope they fit. Oh yeah, much better, much better. Yeah, like they were made for it, huh? And then we'll put the two 15,000 RPM drives in. Oh, I always do that. I always push the wrong damn lever. Come on, other. Yeah, these fit much better. The other ones you could feel they were sticking. I didn't want to stick them in any further. So now that still leaves us 3 hard drive bays. And then if I wanted to get another back plane, I could add another 8 drives over here. But I won't be doing that. I see the death of spinning drives coming up really quick. And now with shared storage like I have, we're not going to need spinning hard drives in these servers for much longer. All right, so we're going to go back over to the workstation now, and we're going to fire this server up and see if the drives all work. All right, so just before we begin here, come to me. In my last video, I tested some of the audio settings to change it, trying to reduce the background noise and the hum of the air conditioner. So you're going to notice the video. Well, if your ear is as keen as mine is, you may notice the audio come in, and then you'll hear periods of silence, like now, when I stop talking. And that's one of the new features, or one of the features built into OBS. I'm allowing it to automatically control the volume and the background noise. So, but it's a work in progress, but I think I have it set to a level where I'm happy with it. So if you're not happy with it, you have 2 choices. Deal with it or tell me what you don't like about it. The choice is, of course, yours. But put your comments in the comment section. Let me know if it's just horrendous. We'll do something about it, of course. But just wanted to let you know that up front. All right, so here we are. We're over on our IBM Integrated Management Module. Now, I want to bring something up. One of my complaints with this IBM server is I have no way to monitor the AC power, the power that it's consumed or is consuming. And look right up here at the top for those of you that commented to go into the IMM. I have the IMM version 1. I don't have a version 2. I don't have a version 3. The IMM 1 does not support power management or power monitoring. There is no place over here. The only thing that is there is power restart, but you see there are no power options. I had somebody tell me, choose the tabs across the top. There are no tabs across the top on this IMM. IMM 2 is not available on this server. It's only IMM 1. So I'm stuck with what I got, and my bitchiness about one of the reasons I don't like the IBM is because I can't see the power on hours. I mean, I can see the hours, but I can't see how much power it's consumed. So there. No, but I want those of you that posted that, thank you for trying to help. I do appreciate it. All right, so moving right along, what I want to do is do a remote control session on this server so we can get those hard drives set up. So we got to be very careful when we set up these hard drives, because I don't want to erase my other configuration and foobar my server. So we're going to start remote control in single user mode. Now I've got a new version of Java that wants to be installed, and but I'm going to tell it to use the old one unless it installed itself automatically. I hope not, because every time they come up with a new version of Java, it breaks something. So let's let's minimize all this here and go to my desktop. And the first thing I'm going to do is come up here to power and turn it on. And then I need to be ready to go into the SCSI controller. I'm sorry, into the SAS controller. What am I saying? Hey Toby, what you doing, Bubba? Let's see. Control H. So hopefully I can hit. There we go. Web BIOS will be executed after post completes. All right, so there we are. We're now into the controller. Now the next thing I need to do is come up here to Tools, Session Options, and I need to tell the mouse relative control in order to get it to work properly. There we go. So we'll start. One foreign config found. One to import. Let's see. Wow. Let's preview. Well, it sees the hard drive that came with it, which is the 135 gig. And it wants to know if I want to import these. Okay. Let's read the screen, Joe. That would help. Foreign configuration preview as imported. Click import to import and merge this configuration. Well, I don't know that I want to import because it's set that up as RAID 0. Virtual drive 2. Let's see, virtual drive 1, virtual drive 0. So that'd be my boot drive, this would be my SSD, and this would be my 135 gig here. So there are no virtual drives set up. They're just what are they? Unconfigured. All right, I'm going to import them. Alrighty, here we go. So now let's go to our. Oh, should we go to our configuration wizard? Let's see. Drive group 1, if we read it, is a virtual drive, 135 gig. That's my Windows Server 2016. Drive group 1 is an RAID 0 array. That is my SSD drive. Drive group 2 is RAID 0, and that's got one virtual drive, 135 gig. And then what I want to do is go to the configuration wizard, I guess. Clears existing, no. No, I don't want to use the wizard. I'm going to go and do virtual drives. Well, let's see here. No, I want to go back. Go to drives. Go to this one. Maybe go to properties. Go. No. No. I'll figure it out eventually. So I'm not too proud to admit when I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but I do remember that I have the LSI MegaRAID drive software in my Server 2016. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to exit this, and I'm going to reboot, and I'm going to let it boot into Windows. And then what I'm going to do is go in under Windows, and I'm going to configure those drives with the MegaRAID controller, because I'm just not sure how to do it with the web BIOS. And so I'm not, like I say, I'm not too proud to admit when I'm wrong. So we'll come back after this unit boots into Windows. I'm glad I installed Windows Server 2016 on it, so that I had the ability to do that, because I just don't want to take the wrong step with the web BIOS configuration utility. So we'll come back when it's back into Windows. All right, so here we are, MCS Lab, MegaRAID storage adapter. I learned about this program from Morton at my Playhouse, and he installed it on his, and so I went ahead and installed it on mine, and let's see if I can get it to run. And if we can't figure out these, there it is. Let's go over to, yeah, well, you know, they're always reminding us of updates, aren't they? Oh, wow. Use your operating system's login username and password to log into the MSM server. Okay. Let's hope this works. It might be under administrator. Now all I want to do is create a single RAID 0 drive out of each drive. That's all I want to do. The third drive that's in there has already had that done. So let's see. So configured capacity 527.127, unconfigured 258. Let's see, alarm disabled, mega RAID recovery disabled, cachecade disabled, drive security unconfigured, good spin down disabled. All of these are disabled. Let's go to physical. Okay, why does it have a problem with that drive? There's a yellow warning indicator. Why has it got a yellow? 512B. It's an SSD serial ATA. Properties. Do you see anything bad on there? Well, data protection is incapable. What's the difference? Full disk encryption, data protection, incapable. That's not it. Okay, well, I'm worried about this one and this one. These two have not been in this machine before. Now it says unconfigured good, unsupported. Let's look at this one. Well, I can't see the actual drive. I have to go to physical. I'm not going to do that. Go back to the dashboard and I'm going to create let's see, how do I do a virtual drive tools? So I like to share the good along with the bad, or the bad along with the good, I should say. So I'm ignoring this error right here on my SSD drive because I don't know what it is, but yeah, I don't know what it means. I don't know why it's got a little yellow exclamation point or a little yellow Chuchimaflaki on there, but it does. But this is one of my 146 gig hard drives that works, and you notice it's an IBM ESXS, and here's the product ID number. And then we have this one, which is this is obviously a Seagate hard drive. That ST number indicates Seagate, and I'll show you in a minute where it shows it. This one, I don't know what brand this drive is. I have looked this drive up online and cannot find anything about it. But it is also an IBM ESXS, and it is working. The problem is these two drives are not. These are IBM SSG drives. Both of them are. And for whatever reason, they're not working. So I have ordered a couple more of these drives right here, the ST9146-803SS drives, and we're going to see if those work in here. So for the time being, we're at a standstill, but I will go ahead and get ESXi installed onto this hard drive, and we'll do that in another video. But yeah, there's the problem. So if I come back here to these drives, it's a T5, so this is a Toshiba. I think both of these are Toshiba hard drives, but it sees them, but it tells you they're unconfigured good but unsupported. So I don't know what that means. I have looked it up, and it, nothing makes sense that I read on it. So I'm going to actually ask Morton if he's ever run into this problem before, and if there are specific drives he can recommend for that IBM server. But I have ordered, like I said, 2 more of these, same identical product ID numbers, and they off of eBay for I think about $24 for 2 drives. So not to complain. So once those drives come in, we'll install them. We'll start this all over again. So I'm going to try something a little bit differently here. And as you can see, I have well, you probably can't see it, but let me let you know what I did. I removed the 246 gig drives that were not compatible with this controller, and I have instead installed I had a Toshiba 500 gig 2.5-inch drive laying around, and I put it into this unit, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. If I come here to drives, you can see now it is seeing a drive in slot 3 as a 465 gig drive set to run in JBOD, which is just a bunch of disks. So I can use this web controller to now configure this device. So all I have to do is come to Configuration Wizard, and you notice now, before I only had clear and new configuration, now I have add configuration, and that's what I was looking for. And that retains the old configuration and then adds new drives to the configuration. This is the safest operation as it does not result in any data loss. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to click Next. And this is it says one or more JBOD drives is detected. If you wish to convert those drives to unconfigured good, please choose the drive from the table below, and it has the drive selected for me. So I'm going to come here to click on Next, and I'm going to do a manual configuration, methinks. So I'm going to do Next. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select drive group 3, because there's nothing in there. You see drive group 1 has the 140 gig. Drive group 1 has the SSD drive. Drive group 2 has the 140 gig. And drive group 3 is empty. So I'm going to select this drive, and I'm going to add that to the array. And now we should see, hopefully, right, drive group 3, backplane 3, slot 3, serial ATA hard drive. So I'm going to now accept the drive group. So let's just make sure. I know it looks kind of funky here. And it created drive group 4. Okay, so let's do Next. And let's see, add to span. Okay, so drive group 3 is now going to have that 500 gig drive or 464 gig drive. I'm going to click Next. And let's see, RAID level 0, right through cache. Let's do update size. Okay, that looks right. But I don't see my virtual drive groups here. Click on Next, see here what happens. Yeah. Oh, select size. Let's do update size. Okay, accept. Yes, right through is okay. So now we should have 1, 2, 3, 4 virtual disks, and we do. So now let's click on Next. So here's what we'll end up with. Slot 1 is 135 gig, slot 0 is 135 gig. Slot 1 is the SSD at 255 gig. Slot 2 is the serial ATA, or SAS drive, 135 gig. And slot 3 is a serial ATA 464 gig. So I'm going to click on Accept. I'm going to save that configuration. All data on the new virtual drives will be lost. Do I want to initialize? Oh, sure. And we should see all the drives are now optimal. So now we go home. And I'm going to exit the controller. And then come up here to Tools, and we'll do a, let's see, we'll do a restart, a reboot. And we'll see what we get when we boot into, we're going to go ahead and boot into Windows now. And then I'll come back and bring up the Windows screen so you can see what the LSI MegaRAID controller looks like under Windows. We're now back on MCS Lab. So let's bring up the MegaRAID Storage Manager. Now, in theory, we could have done it through here as well. We didn't. That's okay. I'm I wanted to do it out at the web BIOS screen, but I'll come into this controller software so that you can see what the results of that were, so to speak. Let's see if we have a little more progress. I know we're able to see it as a hard drive now, and we were able to bring it into the configuration. Now it says everything is optimal. Let's see. It's flashing down here. I still can't create a virtual drive, but that's okay because I've already created it. So if we come over here to physical, we'll now see that our 400 gig or 500 gig hard drive is now being identified. It is a Toshiba drive. It's online. It's only 3 gigabit per second, so that's considerably slower than the SAS drive. But this is just more or less a proof of concept video on what drives you can use in here. And I'm not saying that we'll keep these drives in here or keep that drive in here. We have other drives coming that are actually 6 gig SAS drives. There's no errors, no predictive failures, none of that. Everything looks good. And then if we go to the logical setup, we can see that we've set up a virtual drive for that as well. That appears to be working. There's no warnings on it. It's identifying it properly. It's a 512-byte sector drive, or 512-bit sector drive. It even gives us the temperature. So I'm not saying we'll keep this drive in here, but I just wanted to make sure that the problem was with the drives and not with the actual controller. And so now we've kind of proven that a standard 2.5-inch serial ATA disk works in here and doesn't have any problems. Well, I guess that is the end of this video. We'll call this part 1 of the IBM X3650-M3 hard drive replacement video. Boy, it's a cotton-picking mouthful, isn't it? Anyway, hope you found this video entertaining and informative. As always, give us a thumbs up down below, please. Leave your comments in the comments section. If you joined the live stream on Saturday, you'll know that we're talking about getting a website together for Unky Joe's Playhouse and possibly a forum. So I'm talking that over with a couple of people that one is a developer that wants to help me develop the website, and two, another one wants to be a moderator. So if you're interested in either helping design the site and get it up and running, I can't afford to pay you, but I'll give you kudos and put you in the credits. Anyone who wants to help me do that, please send an email to unkyjoesplayhouse@gmail.com, and I'll try to respond as quickly as I can. And what I'll probably do is once we get enough people, we'll get together a group email of some sort to where we can correspond with one another to get that website up and running, along with a forum, a discussion forum. So we're just in the planning phases right now. I haven't committed to anything, but I want to kick this idea around with some of my more knowledgeable subscribers. And I know you guys have a lot of knowledge out there, so anyone willing to help with this, send an email to unkyjoesplayhouse@gmail.com. Anyway, we take PayPal and Patreon for donations. We're trying to get together a SSD fund right now. We've had a couple of people, especially Sasha Lopez, really stepped up to the plate and donated quite a bit of cash to the new SSD drive fund. I want to get a 1 terabyte SSD drive to go in the IBM behind me, and then I want to get a couple of NVMe drives, cache drives, to go into the Synology NAS, now that I'm using that as a... I gotta save that for another video. Anyway, so if you're so inclined, donate. You know, every little bit counts. Or just join on Patreon, give me $1 a month, whatever you can afford. It's greatly appreciated. So don't forget to join us for part 2 of this video, and don't forget also that we will see you on the other side.